Ziggy Piggy, Ziggy Piggy. Let's get on topic. Hey everybody, it's Thomas with Get Out Arizona, and you're watching another great episode of Toolbox Topic. I'm joined once again with my co-host Brandon Van Leuven. Brandon, how the hell are you?
Nervous.
Nervous? Why?
No, I'm not.
Not like we're at the proctologist or anything.
Nah, we'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be all right. So, and once again, we're at the Trek Bicycle Store of West Phoenix in Goodyear, Arizona, because where the cool kids hang out, huh? And me. And you have no idea, because all we said was Ziggy Piggy, name that movie in the intro. But this is part 2. We thought there was going to be 3 videos, but it ended up being 2 on installing the SRAM transmission drivetrain. Now here's my bike Esmeralda. She's a fuel 9.9 or 9.8, excuse me, with upgraded parts to make her like a 9.9. And I am super excited to do this. Now the other video is going to be linked up top. We broke everything down. We also showed you how to clean your parts for a good clean drivetrain.
She's primed, ready to go.
Yep, and since we're not installing those older parts on the bike itself and installing the new one, let's just go ahead and dive right in. Brandon, what do you got?
All right. First time for me, first time for you, so we'll see how this goes.
All right.
I've done a little bit of research. I think I'm prepared for this, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
There might be some challenges along the way, but
we'll figure it out.
Let's do it.
That's what this video is for, guys, to kind of help you.
This is by no means a how-to video. This is a what-if video.
It is a how-to video with the what-if caveat. So now I will tell you this. We did connect the shifter pod and the derailleur.
They've been paired.
Yesterday, they've already been paired, and we did a firmware update because, of course, everything's got a firmware update right after release. So that is out of the way because that was an issue when we did the Access GX on Betty a little over a year ago, and we'll link that video up top too if you care to watch that one. So, all right, Brandon, you got to give us a count in, and then we're ready to go.
Here we go.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's start off with a couple simple things. I'm going to get this cassette put on. I want to get this crankset put on. I'm a little worried about the crankset because it's a dub. It should go right on, but the spacing, we'll have to see.
Okay.
Here's a beautiful new cassette. This is your Eagle cassette. This is the XO. There's a nice finish to it. It's really quite elegant, to be honest with you. Super light as well. Very easy to put on. If you remember, we took it off with the with that little pliers. Well, it doesn't require that with assembly, so you're going to be working against the pawls here, so you're going to use the actual ratcheting mechanism to hold it in place. A little bit of grease, just a tad, on the inside threads here. There's already a little bit on there, but I always add a little bit more.
Nothing wrong with that. And guys, I promise you, I'm going to keep my bike clean from now on.
So I like to make sure it's all nice and seated up on there. And then using my cassette installation tool, we're going to go on there. Okay, I feel like it's on there pretty good now. Let's go ahead and get this thing on. While I'm doing this, it's very important, doing the transmission setup, that you go to the SRAM website, look up your exact bike. It's going to ask you a number of questions. It's going to ask you your bike model, your bike manufacturer, the year it was manufactured, as well as how many chainring teeth you're using, and a number of other questions depending on which bike you have. For instance,
does it also ask your astrological sign?
It does not ask that. It is not relevant in this case. But in this case, what was relevant on your bike was it was asking me if the position, if it was the Mino link was set to high or low. Right. So these things are all very critical, and I have some notes on that. That's all been pre-done. So this looks great. It's easy install, and I always like to look on these cassettes towards the inside here just to make sure that those teeth on the back side have all lined up and it's seated itself nice and correctly on there. So cassette's on. I'll put this tool back because I will not need it anymore. Let's
not gonna lie, guys, I'm pretty excited. This is friggin' look how sexy that friggin'
That's a nice one.
Is. Yeah.
Let's move on to putting the crankset in. If you remember, I put some
zip ties
in there just to hold my spacers in place and so that I didn't lose them in the meantime. And hopefully this guy just goes right in there. We'll check it out.
We're hoping.
Brand new, beautiful XO crankset.
Now, if you guys are wondering what I'm going to be doing with all the other parts, those will go to another bike. I assure you, they will not go to waste.
So, damn it, I hate to say it, this is a damn nice looking crank.
Yeah, that's all.
So the version that Thomas got is version 2. Version 2 Crankset is not a bonded spindle onto the crank arm. It is now all one-piece machined.
Which is
I don't know if you can see
awesome.
inside there, but that should add some weight, or excuse me, add some strength and lose some weight.
Yeah.
So that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
So
I'm moving up in the world, guys.
as with all Dub and SRAM crank sets, they have a cinch system on here. So before you install, what you want to do is use a 2mm Allen wrench, back off that little set screw, and make sure that the cinch is all the way butted up against the crank arm. We're going to put a little bit of grease on there again. Doesn't have to be a ton. Pardon.
Gotta wipe the fingers off.
All right. So we'll start from the back side here, and fingers crossed that all my spacing is going to be just fine, as per your old crank set. I think it will be though. So that goes in there. I've made sure that my spacer on this side is still nice and seated.
Right.
Inside the there's a, well actually I take it out, just so people can see. The spacers for the Dub bottom brackets do have a ridge in them, and that ridge fits inside the seal inside here, so you cannot have this backwards.
Right.
Otherwise it won't fit properly, and it'll probably bind up the bearing. So I'll place that back in there. Brand new crank set. And this part always kind of pisses me off a little bit, to be honest with you. Because when you push against it, you kind of push the backside out.
Right. Do you mean
So at first I'm just going to snug it up.
Okay.
See if I can get it started. This is an 8mm. And again, this one also, if you remember, we took the old GX out that had the extractor cap on it.
Right.
We're making sure that we are not using the extractor cap to close it up. We're using the actual bolt inside.
Yeah.
So that is snug. Oh, so far we're feeling good.
Nice.
We're feeling lucky here.
Nice.
That's nice. So here's the method now with the cinch. We're going to, first of all, torque this guy down. It's 54 Newton meters.
Okay.
For the crank set. So I'm going to 54 on this guy. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. I'm going to place this. I'm going to remove the weight off of the torque. And now we have to set up the cinch. So I've done that. I brought out my nice mallet for today. And we're going to give this guy a couple taps on here just to seat everything in there. Make sure we got all the gap taken out. And I'm going to feel this again. Oh man, this feels good right off the bat again. I think this happened last time we installed your cranks.
And I'm going to link a video up top, guys, because we did a bottom bracket replacement on Esmeralda not too long ago. And so that's what Brandon's referring to. But the link will show a full video on that, so you guys know how to do that as well.
So right now I feel no play in the bottom bracket.
You know what I feel right now?
Which is rad.
A like, subscribe, and a bell notification. That's what I feel.
But we still need to go to the back side here. Nicely done. We still need to go to the back side here. And what we're going to do is see if there's any slack I can take out of the cinch. So I'm going to dial this out until it's snug. And then make sure that we're closing up. Where is it?
It's right
It's in
there.
an odd spot. It's just how it worked out. So I'm going to close this. It's only like a 2 Newton meter tightness here. So essentially, it's hard to see. I'm sorry about that.
Nope, you're good.
But it's a kind of a clip, and so you just want the ends to touch.
Right.
You don't want to tighten it because it is a plastic piece and it will break if it's over tightened.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen.
So this one, real nice. We're doing good. This is great. super smooth. Your bearings still felt great from the old dub or the old crankset. So man, we're moving along. We're doing
Cool.
good.
Don't jinx it.
All right. So the next thing we would do in the process is we would now pair the derailleur and the shifter. We've done that already,
Which
as
we
you
did.
said. So
Now, real
do
quick, so you
this-
guys know, when you download the app for SRAM Access, it's actually going to give you really good instructions on how to do everything, which I really enjoy that
Yep.
about the app, step by step, so you don't have to worry. Just go there.
For sure. Just really quickly, what you want to do is you want to press the AXS button until the green light blinks slowly. Press the AXS button on the shifter until the green button blinks quickly. Now, once that's happened and the stops blinking on this guy, you can just let it sit because it'll time out itself, or you can push the button again to get out of the pairing mode. Super easy to do. That's already been done. So let's start off by just installing your shifter pod here. Again, I believe this was a
2.5,
Well, it's
wasn't
a
it?
little hex, isn't it? Little T25. So if we look here real quick, Thomas, what we need to do, we kind of need to mess with this a little bit, I noticed. So you have a matchmaker on there. I was looking to eliminate that with a normal spot that's a little bit cleaner looking. Or there's an attachment for this as well that would work with your matchmaker.
Right.
We're not set up for this right now, so I'm just going to put it on using the
Yeah, and I'm
the
totally
bracket
fine with that.
it came
Yep.
with. And this I'm going to put on there, just snug it up for us. You will have to do your own customization how you want this thing to feel, because it does rotate a number of ways,
Yes.
however you want it. So I'm just going to get it on there. And this is like a 2 Newton meter as well. It's very light. Don't put a ton on there. However, this is also an issue with all our new carbon bars. They're very slick.
Right.
So sometimes I feel like we're going a little tight. Yeah, these are slick carbon bars, but really you shouldn't have to use a ton of effort for this guy. So that's all tightened down. This, again, by loosening that up, it'll rotate, it'll do a number of different things.
Yeah, and actually you could see where I got my hand, and this is usually where I have my hand. There's my brake, there's my shifter, so this lines up really nice.
Okay. And you really won't know until you're on there riding it, but that's
Yeah.
cool. Same thing with your bar. So we'll put your old grip back on. We'll double check this when it gets on the ground to make sure everything's level in the way you want it. So cool, shifter pod is on. Let's move on to the rear derailleur. So this is where it's going to get interesting, is with this guy right here. So while I have it still on my hand, you'll see this lock. Just like all the other Eagle stuff, it has this lock mode on there. To make things easier for working on it, cleaning it, and removing the rear wheel. What's going to be interesting on this one is we now have a setting notch on there as well, and we're going to talk about that here in a second after I get it put on.
Let me zoom in on that so you
Actually,
guys
let's
can
do this
see.
now. So looking up on the website, based on the bike, it showed that we are going to be using setting position A. So right now I'm on setting position B. Let's change this now. I'm going to unlock that, and be careful, this spring is heavily loaded.
Right.
So I'm going all the way down to this most, easiest point. And it says you could use a flathead screwdriver to do this, but I found out it's not that bad to do. So I'm going to reverse this so that this line is now in setting A.
Okay.
And it sits in there real nice. Easy to do.
Yep.
So that's based off of your bike. So we have that done. I am going to go back and lock this so that we can work with it. Now it's time. Let's put the battery in too while we're doing it. Battery's been pre-charged already. It does come with a bit of a factory charge, but you're going to want to top it off before you do any of this. And I think you have to before you can do any firmware updates as well.
Right. Now, having had SRAM Access before, guys, I could tell you the batteries actually do have a good bit of longevity. Doesn't mean I didn't order a second battery. I always say it's good to have a spare, but don't worry, you can go for multiple rides and not have to worry about a charge. And the nice thing is if you press the SRAM button, it tells you how much juice you have left, green, yellow, red, or you can just simply open up the Access app and it's going to tell you how much battery you have left as well.
So here is the bushing that's going to go into our frame, and this is something I was curious about when we disassembled it. So this is the frame bushing, and then there's your bolt, your assembly bolt. I have everything still zip tied over here.
Yep, remember.
So it looks like we're not going to use the Trek seal on there. I don't know. We'll check it out here in a second. The main thing in here is we have this washer. That's a Trek. It's a split pivot. So I have that washer. I'm going to remember to keep that washer in there when I put everything back together. And I'm just going to go back through here, just clean it up a little bit again, as best I can. Make sure there's no dirt or grime or excess grease, because on this part we are not going to put grease in there. Just for looksies. All right, I'm going to try it without the seal. I'm pretty sure I don't need it.
Okay.
But we'll find out here in a second. So.
Don't forget about the split pivot.
There's my, there's a split pivot washer.
Oh yeah, no, that seal looks good.
Yeah, it's pretty close, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty close. So I need to be careful because this guy kind of does that when the bike's not all put together with the derailleur and such, because usually there'd be the universal derailleur hanger holding it all together.
Kind of zoom in, guys, you can
just
see
a little bit, slightly precarious, but not terrible.
Then a quick segue and a shout out, as you guys can see, okay? I'm using my iPhone 15 Pro Max to film all the B-roll once again. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Small Rig. This cage has come in more handy than you guys could possibly know.
A little bit of grease on my bolt here.
Okay.
Not a ton.
And if it seems like it got darker, it did, because the lights on the other side of the shop went out.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
I'm going to put this guy in here.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, I must be doing something wrong. Oh, there it goes.
There it goes.
Holy crap.
Oop, there it is.
Holy crap.
Don't you love it when he gets excited, folks? Okay, as you can see, he's just tightening that down.
So, okay, cool. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go, that's probably a little too tight, so I'm going to snug. And then what we're going to do for the setup is back it off one full rotation.
Okay.
So there's one full rotation. It is loose, but this is what's going to happen. You'll see in a moment why.
Okay.
So cool, that's in there.
And we're going to cut really quick, guys, so I can get the light. And I say cut, but there's a good chance I might leave this footage in just because so you guys can see. We're all real here, all natural, all natty.
So sweet. Let's put the wheel in, and then we're going to have to go cut the chain according to what was recommended by SRAM.
SRAM.
So I'm going to back this off. Be very careful with all your new components. Same thing that we did on the derailleur. We're going to hook up your through axle, and then we're just going to snug it up, and then we're going to back it off one complete turn. So there's snug. I'm going full rotation back one. So everything is kind of loose right now. It's kind of goofy, but
you'll see why in a minute.
That's why. All right. This is trash as well. So here's the interesting part. Everything has been predetermined. Here's my chain. According to the app, it's going to tell me that I need 116 links on here.
Okay.
This is all dependent on your bike and how many teeth you have on your chainring, things like that. So it's important to note that I've read that any changes either in the geometry of your bike or changing the idler pulley for whatever reason, maybe you're putting a ceramic speed larger, I don't know. If you make changes, just refer back to the app so that you can change the chain length again. Oh, I got a chain puzzle.
Chain puzzle. Is that like a Chinese finger torture?
Sort of. Chinese finger cuffs. So I'm using the brand new chain here, and then they gave us a little chart here that I can, so I don't have to think so hard. Now, if your bike is not in the website for whatever reason, say you got some exotic bike, you got to do a whole P load of S to try to get the measurements right so that you can figure this stuff out. But luckily, it's a fairly common bike, and we're going to use this chart. So what I want now is 116 links.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and kind of show you guys. Hopefully you can see.
I'll line this guy up. Thank you, SRAM, for making this easy for me.
Oh, yeah.
That's my link I want to remove.
Look
right
at
there,
that.
116.
Man, it doesn't get any easier than that. We didn't have to do
doesn't.
no thinking, no mathing, no nothing.
So here we go. I'm going to remove this link with my Park Tool chain breaker. So the next thing that's important for the setup is, what I'm going to be talking about doing now is, there's 2 cogs on the rear cassette that can be used for the setup. This is also dependent on your bike's setup as well. So the one that's been determined for this particular bike is we're going to be using the 21 tooth cog, which is my 6th cog in, or my 6th shift in. So using this guy, I'm going to automatically, since we're already set up, let's do this. We're going to go all the way outboard and come in 5. Take a look at this. Oops, that's the wrong way. I'm going all the way outboard. So that's 1 cog, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
And that should give me my 6th cog now. I'm going to run this through. The AXS chain is a flat top chain, so common sense, hopefully.
Right.
Will let you know that
The
this is going to be the flat
top.
goes on the top. I'm going to run this through. I'll run you through. Be mindful that the chain is being set up behind the tabs.
Right.
So I have a tab here and a tab here. We're running through, we're kind of weaving those. Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. What? Come on, Houdini. What the f? Are you fucking kidding me? How come it falls right out, but oh, I guess it does.
There's never a dull moment
That
here
was
on
irritating
Toolbox
as hell.
Topic. Oh, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Now, if this is your first time tuning in to Toolbox Topic, here's a little history about Brandon. He used to be stunt double for Brad Pitt.
No, that's right.
Until he
Bring
became
that
a
up
bike shop
again, huh?
owner. Yep.
So we're going to go to this guy here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cog in. We're looking good and lined up. Now we're going to connect the chain. Here is my power link by SRAM. It's important to note that there is an arrow on the power link. I don't know if you can see that or not.
I'm going to try to zoom in. Hold it steady. Hold it steady. There you go, guys. Hopefully you can see that.
That arrow has to coincide with the direction of the chain while you're riding forward.
Right. Good to know, though.
Yep. I'm going to put this guy on here.
It's like directional wheels.
Power links can only be used once. Once you remove that, please put a new one on. If you use KMC links, which are compatible with Shimano and SRAM, KMC links, some of them can be reusable if it says so on the packaging.
Right.
So I'm going to use my chain pliers to pop this into place.
Pull. Oh, there it is.
Contact. So, cool.
Nice.
We're looking good. Here's where things get interesting. So, all right, so we're using that. Fifth, and we're outboard. 116 links is in there. We're set to position A. I'm going to release this. But instead of going all the way, I have to push the button so that I'm on the A section here. So just for demonstration, if I let it go, it won't be in the set spot.
Okay. So we're
can you
trying
see
to
that?
get, hopefully you guys, you can see that. I don't have a flashlight, but you can barely see the little red marks right there, A and B. Oh, that's a little bit too much light,
Oh,
Brandon. Here,
sorry.
give me that. Oh, give it to me.
Okay.
Let's see. There you go, A and B.
Yep, that's
So-
where it needs to be for the setup.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you, good
Yep.
sir. Zoom back out.
All right, now using my torque wrench once again,
Yes.
we're going to go to 35 Newton meters this time for the rear derailleur.
Now, you might be wondering, Thomas, you washed the bike, you're putting on this awesome, great new group, but you're still leaving the same tires on there. I am for the next couple weeks. There's a little bit of life left on these, and the next video we do will be rather short, but you're going to see Esmeralda get some new shoes, and we'll discuss the different types of tires you could put on your mountain bike, the different widths, and proper, way to install those for a tubeless setup. So that'll be the next video.
All right, so now what I want to do, everything is loose, yeah? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pull the chain taut. I'm going to rotate this a couple times just to make sure everything's nice and seated up. And then using my torque wrench, I'm going to 35 Newton meter here while holding the chain taut.
Right. That's taut, not thought.
And it is possible that it loosens up again when things settle in, so we'll have to check that.
Yeah. Oh, almost. Eh. Disco. Get out of
Now
there.
my wrench is stuck. Oh, for the love.
It happens to me all the time.
Cool, we're looking good there. I'm going to tighten up your through axle.
Yeah.
If you have this one's just a Bontrager one, because it was the lever. If there's an actual through axle torque spec, just go ahead and use that at this time as well. Well, so far it's gone pretty smooth. Should we try it out?
Let's try it out.
You ready?
Yep.
Let me get my dummy. I'm going to pass in front of you here. That's extremely smooth and quiet.
That's some freaking shit right there.
Something is wrong though.
Yep. Can hear that.
I did something wrong. So another thing I need to look at here, but I may have messed up, there's two hash marks here. And if those hash marks aren't lined up, I've screwed up.
Okay.
So maybe I need to loosen it up and rework this. Can you see two hash marks there?
Kind of, sort of. It's hard for me to see. I don't know if you guys can see them in there. I'm trying to zoom in. I could see the one hash mark, and then I could kind of sort of see the other hash mark.
Okay, it's called like a knurled nut or something, and maybe it didn't get lined up.
Okay.
Because here's my problem. I don't know why this is happening just yet. If I go down to your high gears, oh no, we're looking good. There's just that first shift I had a ton of slack in here, but no, we're looking good.
And actually, I can see the hash marks, guys. I'm going to try to zoom in again here.
Are they lined up?
Without getting my friggin' hands caught in the thing. There's the AB. And yeah, I could see, you guys can see the faint line right there is lined up with that little hash mark right there.
And one thing I forgot to do too, I forgot to release that mark right there before I started up too. So I was still in the set mode.
Oh, okay.
I was shifting, so
now we're not in the set mode.
Too.
Okay.
Yep. So this is pretty freaking cool. Got a little bit of brake rub I need to get out later. And it sounds a little tingy right now.
Yeah.
But what I'm looking for now is I'm going to fine tune, and if I have any actual one particular cog that doesn't Like that guy's a little, hear that?
Yeah, a little bit.
So here's what I'm gonna do. You can either micro adjust via the app, or what you can do is hold down the shifter, and that'll give you 2 millimeter adjustment from where you're sitting, Thomas. Does it look like I need to go inboard or outboard?
It looks like you need to come outboard just a hair.
All right, so I'm gonna try this just a few. That guy's still a little noisy, huh?
A little bit.
I think it got worse.
Well, maybe I was wrong and he had to come in.
Yep, it went all the way down now, huh?
Okay, yep.
Okay.
Actually skipped.
So I'm going inboard now. It's not getting much quieter.
Oh. Maybe there's something else on the bike.
Huh.
You fix one thing and something else breaks.
Now there's something goofy going on because I got some kind of skipping going on. Let me see what happens in the other gears.
You guys can.
So the nice thing, the really cool thing about this is there is no limit screws on here.
Right.
Oh, so if I go back in and now it's quiet. That was the same one that we were having trouble with.
Yep.
So just listen to all of them now. Huh, all right. Well, that was kind of weird.
That is kind of weird.
Maybe it just wasn't sitting in there. Everything's so new and
It's
tight.
possible.
Well, you got transmission, dude.
Nice. Yeah, everything's quiet now.
Yeah.
That thing's
now
running.
it's
running like a top.
We'll put the pedals on right now. Time for you to go do a test ride, if you want. So this crankset came with the pedal washers. We're absolutely going to use these pedal washers. In this case, this will help protect. Whoops! This will help protect the cranks. A little bit of grease. Oops! A lot of bit of grease.
I know this was a longer video, guys, and I do appreciate you watching, especially if you've made it to this point. Only the truly dedicated and faithful do. So a big shout out to you, my friends, and to everybody who watches. We don't want to make it seem like, we only care about the ones who watch all the way through. Everybody who takes the time to watch and comment, it is sincerely appreciated. And your feedback is nice. It adds to conversations that are down in the comments below. It helps us with the channel. And we've always said, as long as you are respectful, with your comments and your feedback, they are well received. And it may take a little time, but I do answer every single one of your comments and questions. So just know that you're not being ignored, but I
will not be ignored.
Not be ignored. I do photojournalism for a living, guys, and so sometimes it's not always convenient for me to answer day of the comment. So just keep that in mind, but we do thank each and every one of you.
All right, so pedals are coming on now. Again, we're going to have to take a look at the cockpit when we get it on the ground, but I think this is a good place to call it.
Yeah.
It's in there. Looks great.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to transition back to the 3, 2, yeah. All right, my friends, there you have it.
That was not bad.
Yes, a very successful installation of the SRAM XO transmission drivetrain on Esmeralda.
They said it was easy, and as long as you just kind of do your homework, it is easy.
And I think
it is easy.
Taking that time to what we did as far as like the firmware on the derailleur and syncing the shifter pod and all that stuff ahead of time made it that much easier too. Yeah. So a little bit of pre-work ahead of time, guys, get everything ready, and then you could see tear down, say maybe an hour for someone who's not experienced with it, installation.
Yeah. How long did that install take?
Pre-production. That was 30 minutes on that.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
Oh.
So that's still not bad though.
Okay.
That went really smooth.
Yeah.
And guys, seriously, you know, you can call Trek Bike Stores of West Phoenix, talk to Brandon, one of his guys.
Now that I know what I'm doing.
Yep, now that he knows what he's doing. And you can refer to SRAM's website and their YouTube channel as well. And the app, again, the app is really good. A lot of good information on that. So, anything you want to add, Brandon, before we close out here? I'm not going to show you guys me riding around the parking lot, testing out the shifter and figuring out where that's going to be. That's you guys don't need to see that.
It might take a little bit of fine tuning again after you ride it, but I think a lot of this, like kind of like again what I call tinginess, as it settles in, it's going to go. It's going to be even quieter and even smoother. But they said it was going to be easy. It was pretty easy. I'm pretty sold.
It was pretty hot and spicy, dude.
Pretty sold. Yeah. That's pretty good.
This weekend can't get here enough. I almost want to call off the camera shop and go ride today, but I don't want to leave my my coworkers in a lurch over there, so that'd be the wrong thing to do. All right, my friends, like, subscribe, bell notification icon. It helps out the channel, helps out the video. Links down below. Trek Bicycle Stores of West Phoenix is the most important one. Again, questions, you can comment down below or give those guys a call. Super great group here of guys and gals. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the devil's work, but it's needed to get the word out. That social media for Get Out Arizona. Follow us there, show us some love. Group hikes, group rides, so much fun. Was it more fun than a barrel of monkeys? Is that still relevant? Maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Remember the barrel of monkeys? Okay. Whatever. Follow us there. Anyways, our hijinks and shenanigans. The other links are affiliate links, and if you click on one of those and make a purchase, we receive a small commission. You will not be charged any additional money, and that helps out with park money, or park pass money, gas money, and coffee money, the other trifecta we love so much around here. So, we guys are going to cut you loose now. What do we always say, though, before we do? Seriously, be kind to yourself and others. Be amazing stewards on that trail, and we have to ask, what are you waiting for?
Get Out Arizona.
Yeah. We'll see you on the next adventure. Brandon, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.